We are back, and as promised, we have Cathy Robertson with us now, coming to us from Washington, D.C. She is the founder of DC Peers, which is a new nonprofit in Washington, D.C. that is working to raise awareness of autism and neurodiversity and to create social opportunities for young people on the spectrum combined with neurotypical young people. Welcome to the show, Cathy.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we understand that you've got almost all of your family with you, that they were going to come in and be in the shot with. We want to meet your husband and your son.
Okay, great. I'll start with my daughter because she's right here being my studio assistant.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good. Your daughter is there. Okay.
Sophie helped me recruit all the neurotypical peers at the beginning, and I'm going to miss her a lot because she's going to college in 2 days. Walter, and this is Walter. Walter helped make sure the lessons made sense.
Hi, Walter.
Hi, Walter. And your husband?
Okay, then my husband here has been helping me with the board and with all kinds of things. He's also our trivia master when we do our trivia nights, and he's helped me also present a lesson on dating.
Okay, so this is really a family affair.
Yeah.
Yes, it really is.
Okay, that's
thanks,
great.
guys.
And what a good-looking family, too.
Oh, thank you.
Very charming.
Talk to us about
Close those doors.
the mission of DC Peers and what you're trying to do with it.
Without stating the mission, in its professional language, the mission is to do new things with social skills, to do something that kids on the autism spectrum want to do, and to help them connect with typical peers, and to raise awareness of neurodiversity and autism so that everybody realizes what a benefit it is if we can connect each other better.
Now, Catherine, you are a big fan of social skills. We've all heard their social skills classes have popped up all over the country. Insurance is funding them now. They've been all over the place. You participated in some of those groups, but you, correct me if I'm wrong, you saw that there was this piece that was missing. What exactly happened that made you go, I'm going to have to create something new?
Well, a lot of the social skills classes that I know of and have experienced through my son are kind of for younger kids. There aren't that many programs specifically for high school students because high school students stop really wanting to listen to adults and parents, and they want to listen to each other. They want a peer input, or at least they should get some. And also because I don't think adults know everything there is to know about high school social life. And I really wanted to bring high school kids into the mix and help me figure out what we needed to put on the table. What are the social dilemmas for all high school students?
And also, correct me if I'm wrong, because this has always been something that's bothered me, and that I've looked at and gone, this doesn't make total sense to me, is that most of the social skills classes have only individuals who are on the autism spectrum, so they're practicing social skills with other people who are needing to practice social skills, so they don't really ever get to practice with somebody who's really adept at it, which does not seem like a good teaching model to me. Did it make sense to you?
Yes, and it also, the underlying message there is that there's something wrong with our kids. And, obviously that's a big topic, the topic of neurodiversity and that paradigm. But the idea that our kids need to go to clinics and special classes and learn how to socialize properly and then be sent without any practice with the typical population, and then be sent out to try to do that successfully without really any practice with typical peers it's almost impossible. I don't think that model works.
So tell us about your model.
Well, first I want to make a caveat and say I'm not trying. I told the parents when I first had a meeting about my group, that this was an experiment. And I haven't done any outcome studies or anything. But what my model is to put typical and autistic teenagers in the room together and teach them all the same things with some context, saying that some of these things are more difficult for others. We do a training at the beginning explaining the neurology of social interaction and why it's difficult for some of us to make eye contact or to read expressions. But after having explained all that, we go through each of these skills and have all the kids practice them and work on them together. And there's, it's eye-opening for the typical kids, and it's exciting for the spectrum kids, because they're also being given credit as teachers and coaches.
Yeah.
If they don't understand an interaction, I encourage them to, advocate for themselves and say, I don't know if you're joking or not, or can you slow down? I need a little context, that kind of thing. So it's not that different from the UCLA peers model that I really admire and used to get going. The difference is having the typical peers there and having this slightly different perspective, it's a two-way learning process.
And we understand that your daughter, who we just met a little bit ago, helped you put the typical kids together, and their background is what, theater? Can you tell us about that?
Yes. Her high school, it's a big public high school here in DC, and it's got a wonderful theater program, and she is a theater kid. And she drafted a bunch of her friends who she knew were interested, who knew Walter. And it was a wonderful group to begin with, because they came in open-minded and willing to role play and willing to try things out. A lot of teenagers can get very shy and nervous about getting up and trying something, trying a greeting or an introduction, and they were willing to do it. And what I was amazed at is how excited they were about it, and how all those who weren't graduating came back the second year. And when I was recruiting a new round, I asked them, a group during the first training, why are you interested in doing this? And they said, I'm really curious about autism. They don't teach us anything about it, and we know that we have autistic peers. So I've learned a lot from them about how willing and interested and sympathetic high school kids are if you give them a chance.
You're creating something that's amazing. So we're almost out of time. Tell us, how can people who are in the DC area find out more information? And if there's a way for people who are all over the world and watching this, and if they want to create a mirror to DC peers in their part of the world, is there a way that they can do it?
That's my goal, is to be able to package something to give away. The best thing is to write me, and maybe the easiest way to give you that information is just to give the website. Although it's not quite up and running, there's a placeholder there where you can get my email address. It's www.dcpeers.com.
Okay.
And it should be .org, but it's .com for now.
Okay. And so do you follow the school year, or does it go all year long?
We basically follow the school year. We tried to run some clubs this summer, but there were a lot of kids in and out. They weren't in control of their schedules and their vacations and stuff.
Okay, so if people have teenagers who would like to participate in the DC area, you're getting ready to start a new season, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Wonderful. So want to encourage people to go and check that out. Really want to applaud you. I always talk here on the show about the power of one.
Right.
One mom who sees a need and says, there's a better way to do this. We really appreciate that you've taken this on and created a great model.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your show. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you,
Catherine.
We appreciate you too.